I traveled to one of the most sanctioned countries in the world.
Warning signs are flashing red.
Plenty of international reaction.
Airline suspends flights to Iran.
A lot of my friends were saying don't go.
Don't.
And honestly, I was also scared because I kept getting all these comments.
Oh, there's the airport.
And I was surprised to learn it was much different than what I had expected.
We made it.
Now, why Iran and why is it important to me? I actually haven't traveled here in 10 years. A lot of my dad's side, all of the cousins from that side live in Iran, and I barely get to see or communicate with them. So being able to travel here and see these people and meet my family members, like imagine having an uncle or a cousin that you barely speak to and barely see maybe every 10 years and you get a chance to see them. That is truly a special moment. And that's what this trip was for me. I will try not to show people's faces and blur out extended family members just for their privacy, but we'll try to make this video as fun as possible so you can kind of hang out along with me as we explore beautiful Iran. Once we landed at like 2 or 3 in the morning and we had all this luggage, like 2 or 3 suitcases each. I think there was like 4 to 10 cars probably. I was in one car, my parents were in a different car, my sister in another car, my brother in another car, my uncle in another car. I felt like we were just like this one unit of like massive line of cars just driving from the airport to the capital city center. And I do speak Farsi. It's not the best. The younger cousins that I had spoke English, but anyone who was older didn't speak too much English, so I had to kind of force myself to speak Farsi.
Alright, we officially arrived in Tehran. This is insane. These are all our suitcases. And this is the bed that 2 people get to sleep in. There's 6 of us who sleep in this apartment. I didn't know that I needed to bring my own bed. I would have.
But once we landed, I met my editor who's American, but he is also Iranian.
What is in this bag?
Festivals.
Why do you have festivals in this
Because
bag?
my little cousin in Iran is obsessed with Mr. Beast.
And how does he watch YouTube? Isn't it blocked here?
VPN, everybody's VPN.
So he kind of showed me around a little bit, introduced me to another YouTuber that was living there.
I guess we're doing this. Alright, slots and days.
And we went for a run around the lake. Beautiful lake, to say the least. Very modern.
Alright, this is my very first run in Tehran, London. I mean, bro, it's so early. We're on a man-made lake. Is that what this is? And it's actually really nice. We got this walkway here. We got the Apple Watch going. And the Garmin GPS is locked. When you run with content creators.
And we did one of the first scary things. So wearing shorts, I think, is legal outside. And I wore shorts and I was scared that I was gonna get imprisoned. But I think when you're working out, technically you might be allowed to wear shorts, but it might be only inside of a gym. But we were fine, nothing happened.
Look at this beautiful lake. Running in Tehran. Come on, us there. Pretty warm, but not deadly warm. Dubai was way worse. All right, 5K completed. First run in Iran, baby.
That was the first and the last run that I got, and my workout routine has been destroyed ever since. Travel really kills your workouts.
All right, now we're on a hunt for a bathroom. All right, first one.
You know how to do this?
No way. How do you do it?
And this is the first time that I realized the toilets are drastically different. I could barely find urinals, so there's no standing ways to... And for us, and as an American,
I don't have to go anymore.
after the run, we visited a popular sports complex.
All right, we're in Bashgah Enghelab. Little track. Golf. Yeah. There's running, restaurants. Gym. It's a massive complex. People also come here just to look for other people. What a world. This is insane. It's a white gym for white people. Sadly, we won't be able to see it.
We got to go explore a gym because I was like, I want to work out. Let's go at least see what it looks like. And this gym was very nice. The equipment felt brand new. They had a cold plunge, a sauna.
Oh. It's good. Yeah.
The name, called White Gym, was a little unique.
All right, we just tried the white gym. Now I'm white.
But I wanted to come back and test it out, which I never had a chance to.
Yeah. So it's the most modern gym in Iran. No.
You think there's better ones?
Yeah.
I also want to see, what is it like at the grocery stores? Like,
This is a Persian supermarket. Rus market.
all the aisles look the same. You know, people here are living the same type of life. They wake up, they have their coffee or tea, they go to work, they come home.
I saw they had Prime.
The culture might be different, but the stores look very similar. It was very European-esque, I would say, in terms of what the streets look like, the grocery stores look like. Inflation makes the prices crazy here. I think at one point, if you were to take like a $1 US, it would have been maybe 10 of their currency, and now it's like $1 US. When I was there, it was almost like 60,000 of their currency. So the prices of things are always going up. Cash value is devaluating, increasing increasingly fast. But if you own assets, you're in the business of selling products, like you can increase your prices to help meet inflation. But if you're a regular person who has a salary, that's where life can get pretty hard. The goal was I'm gonna travel to Iran with my Apple Watch, but as you'll find out, there's a lot of things you can't do, especially with Apple products, because they're not even allowed there. There's no Apple stores. There's like fake Apple stores. Even the iPhone 14, 15, and I assume now the 16 is banned by the government, so you can't even activate it to use it there. So being an Apple user is extremely hard there. But I was surprised to see how many people had iPhones. Even my cousin had an Apple Watch, and they would do phone calls and like text messages on the Apple Watch. I was like, that's really cool. We stayed at my uncle's apartment, and there was no internet there.
We'll pick up our SIM card.
And I had to bring an Android phone as well as a hotspot, because those were the only devices that I could put my SIM in, since the new iPhones, at least in the US, don't have physical SIMs, and they only support physical SIMs there. But I did find an app called GoMo World, and I was able to download a data-only eSIM on my phone, but it was a bit pricey. But I mainly used my physical SIM inside of a Netgear hotspot that I bought, and we were able to connect all our devices when we were traveling. And one of the first things we did was go to the Iran Mall.
The world's biggest mall.
It was so big, they're still putting more stores in there. Like, there's so much space. Beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, modern.
اینجا چیه؟ Library of Congress?
اپل پی میگیره؟ نه دبیت کارت دیگه اصلا کار نمیکنه. نه specifically Iranian payment system.
Yes.
You know, there's sanctions, so there's no Visa, no American Express. Apple Pay does not work. None of that stuff works. They use the same kind of hardware, but the payment processors are outside of our normal systems that you might be used to using in the United States and Europe and Canada and a lot of other places in the world.
First Iranian ice cream.
We ended up traveling to the village that my dad grew up in. He grew up in a very poor village.
Yeah, that wood, you remember all this?
And this guy's a farmer that we were first seeing, and he pulled out a chicken and beheaded it in front of us. He was gonna cook it later, you know, obviously to eat, but to see that happen in front of us was interesting on our first few days in this country. We got to experience this farm that we were on.
This is the butter we just made.
This was nearby the village. I got to see where my grandma and my grandpa, as well as dad's dad, died very young. So then my dad's, I guess, stepdad technically was also buried there. And my grandpa, he's buried inside of the Imam Mausoleum, I think it's called. It's very old, so it's kind of lost its place. It's actually under a rug. And I guess everyone in the village, when they go to the cemetery, it's tradition to seek out partners. So when you see someone that you think you're interested in, you would tell your parents or aunts or uncles, I guess, and then they would try to connect you, try to find a future mate. I guess, you know, as life goes, new life should be created.
Yeah.
From there, we actually stayed in the house that my dad grew up in. It's been massively remodeled, drastically different. And we hiked around nearby. My dad said when he was growing up, he would just go outside, have fun outdoors. There were no iPads, no iPhones. I think at his age, he could be a grandpa, but, you know, I'm a bit delayed on that. We got to meet his uncles who also have homes there, second homes, which a lot of them do now.
Wow.
Pretty much the entire family from my dad's side has a house in this village that they all grew up in. And they now use it as a weekend home, which I thought was very interesting. It's kind of like you live in Las Vegas and then you go to Palm Springs for the weekend, or San Francisco and you go to Lake Tahoe for the weekend, or you live in New York and you go to the Hamptons for the weekend. Sadly, my parents here don't have that second vacation home. One of my cousins, they have a massive mansion. It is freaking gorgeous.
Oh, hello, salam.
They had an indoor pool, volleyball court. I was like, damn, this house is real nice.
همه فامیلن اینجا زندگی میکنن یا مثل weekend home?
Next time I want to stay there longer and like get to fully experience it, but it's crazy to think that this was a village with like no one in it, and now it's just expanded to all this stuff. Next, we drove back and I got to experience what a gas station is like, and yes, that is Kind of weird, I don't drive a car, but seeing how you pay for gas, seeing the prices of gas, so what I learned is they do have a similar card. There is no tap to pay, it's more of like a slide. Almost no one was using cash, which was very interesting. It was like a cashless society essentially, like more cashless than the United States. And then when we were in Tehran, the capital, it just came down to visiting so many different cousins, uncles, aunts, friends of cousins of uncles and brothers, and people I barely knew or kind of knew, but these are all people my parents knew. And I was just thinking, if my parents ever pass, then I would probably have zero connection to these people. Like I would be severed. I would kind of have a connection, but I would not know anyone. If I were to travel to Iran on my own, I don't know if I'd be able to be like, hey, what's up? Let's all grab dinner. But then from there, it was like we were using Iran's version of Uber, because they don't have any of the apps. Like you think, oh, I want Uber Eats, whatever. There's none of these typical apps, but they have their own version of it. So the Uber there, like it was insanely cheap. I want to say it was like $5, $10 to get across the city in like 30-40 minutes. But sometimes it just took a while for the car to come pick you up, and sometimes you couldn't find a car and you had to call a taxi. Or we would take the subway, which was really nice. They do have a section that's women only, and then the rest of it can be mixed. And obviously with any other subway, it gets really crowded during busy times. But we used that opportunity to go visit some of the main palaces. We saw the old king's palaces. And we even went to the Azadi Tower, Freedom Tower, which if you've watched like different movies, this is like an iconic piece of Tehran. We wanted to go up to Milad Tower, which is like the stratosphere. It's kind of like the stratosphere in Seattle or Las Vegas. But this is the second time that we're like, we're gonna go. And then we didn't end up going. And then we even got to see the old US embassy. As someone who is Iranian American, having watched movies like Argo, read the news, it was so interesting to be able to see this in person. I think Iran as a country is very inaccessible for most people. That having the privilege to show up and visit the country and even see the former US Embassy, which is now a museum of espionage, it's a unique feeling. It's like I get to experience this where most people do not, and I really wish other people could. And that's why I made this video, so that way you could see what it is like. We got to go around the Tehran Bazaar and see the beautiful, gorgeous sights. It is packed and crowded.
اینا چندن؟ Cheers. How much was it?
50 cents.
For 4 people.
Persian ice cream. And then we were traveling around, so we went from Tehran. We were supposed to get a flight, but you know, things got messed up. Let's not blame the tour company. But we got to ride the train, which is a very unique experience.
Supermarket. Oh, Bastani. Persian traditional ice cream here.
All right, we're barely missing our train.
They fed us on the train. I think it's awesome when you travel to a new country to experience all the things from the flights, the trains, the cars. From Tehran, we went to Yazd.
Alright, this is the bathroom tour.
What do you mean one mega person?
Let's hear the toilet. Let's
This city is beautiful. Like, it feels very historic and raw.
What is this?
Markar Square, and it's the center point of Iran.
It feels kind of like a desert city.
So what is this? Mud and hay?
Modern, hey, yeah, this is Kagel.
How is it still standing?
Your Baba was saying Santa Fe is also made like this.
Santa Fe, California?
Yeah.
So why do we come all the way to Yazd when we could just go to Santa Fe?
Yazd is Yazd.
But as soon as we got to Yazd, I got to reconnect with my editor Nasser, and he showed us around because he had been staying there. He works at a coffee shop, he travels the world, he's a digital nomad.
Coffee Yazdi. It's like Turkish coffee.
Yeah, Turkish coffee.
This is the outfit of the day, every day. This is protects me from the sun. Oh. No. پول ندادی نصر چی شد؟ Iran has this very unique scent. I don't know how to explain it, but you can smell it here. It's like rugs or something. Why is it so empty right now?
Well, now it's afternoon.
And people don't want to be outside in the afternoon?
It's hot.
It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 40 degrees Celsius. It's deadly. It's hot and it's dry.
You see how these shapes are different?
Yeah.
They make different sounds.
Oh.
This is for women when they knock, and this is for men when they knock. So the person would know if it's a woman or man at the door.
Why?
It's in religious times. It was valuable for them to know.
There was even a bathhouse that we got to see.
It's like scrubbed down. It's like a massage bath.
Really? That's like a Turkish hammam.
It was a classic historical bath.
This is where the hammam is, and they wash you.
They had saunas, steam room, and a cleaning area, which I thought was amazing. I wanted to experience it, but for some reason, I don't know, everything we were doing there, we just didn't have time. We were just running from place to place.
800 to 900 years old. It's the outside of the bathhouse, and then the inside, we got a little tour. They wash you, they massage you, they clean you. It's like a Turkish hammam. It's a Persian hammam.
Even if you were from a different city, they'll be friendly to you because you're like a guest in their town. You're from different. If you look like you're from a different country, sound like you're from a different country, then they're even more friendly.
Because they don't get to see a lot of foreigners, or
That's the
culture?
culture. It's cultural hospitality. I'm biased, but I generally think it's one of the most hospitable, if not the most hospitable culture in the world.
Yeah. Okay, one thing I haven't tried is Apple Maps in Iran. I'm not sure if it's supported. Google Maps is, Waze via VPN, so let's find out. Navigate to Yazd art house. Directions not. Oh, it worked. Maybe Siri doesn't work. There doesn't seem to be supported directions. Oh, but I can see where we are, and that might be good enough. We'll walk this way. So we got a little mini Apple Watch maps in Iran. And now you get to see this. And you got the special doors again. Another hard part is a lot of things are in Farsi, so when you try to search it on Google in English, you have to know the translation, which is sometimes different. Pacheh Hole Hammam. Oh. Can I speak Persian? Bale. درست کرد. شما درست کردین؟ من درست نکردم دستگاه باخته. دستگاه. مرسی آقا. دست شما در نکنه.
دست نباشه. خیلی ممنون.
When you're traveling, I love going to random spots. And you just explore stuff. You meet random people walk up to you. What are the experience? Meet random people, see random things. Gotta have a little bit of spontaneity. What was yesterday?
Yesterday was Eid al-Qurban.
And what do you do during Eid al-Qurban?
They slit the throat of a sheep.
Did they do that at your house?
Yeah, it's kind of tradition.
You didn't like it?
Animals are friends, not food.
You're vegan.
This is the place, our house.
€1? اینجا چی نوشته؟
Or your hijab. Best view of Yazd.
Best view? Oh, that's the best view in Yazd, supposedly. Do not stand on the domes. Oh, Ali. Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's some classic Persian tea. And then we got some keki Yazdi, which is local to this region. And then this is the sugar that they give, and it's called nabat. Here is, what is that?
This is herbal tea.
Wow.
Mushajun.
What does that mean?
That means may it nourish your soul.
All right, and that means we can eat like bonjour. Bon appetit. Keki Yazdi. Oh. Wait, you have to tell them your PIN?
Yeah, they
Why?
just ask you what the pin is for the machine and put it in.
So usually you would type the PIN code privately. This one, you kind of say it out loud, which I thought was very unique and different. I don't know how that works if someone like steals your card and then they overheard you say your PIN code to someone.
It's just the culture here.
And then they can...
Trust this though.
So if I get your card, I know your PIN.
Yeah.
But that's how you pay for everything. We had one of those cards for my entire family. I think there's like 6 of us, so we all had to kind of move everywhere as a unit if we needed to buy something.
Well, Nasser, thanks for coffee and keki Yazdi. Okay, what are these Persian words, the sayings?
May I die for you? Golestan, Chakarım, I am your servant, I am your like slave. What is big Adam? May I die for you and then like just circle you, my ghost?
These are all the ways of saying thank you in Farsi.
Yeah.
And what about the simpler ones of saying thank you?
Mamnoon, kheli mamnoon, merci.
Farsi is from French, isn't it?
Yeah, but we use it.
Why did we adopt it? Do you know?
It used to be lingua franca of the world, right?
And then English became the main language. You know when that was?
I have no idea.
It's great seeing you. Khuda hafiz. Dast shoma dar nakone. We will see you soon.
And then it was off to Isfahan.
Hi, goodbye hotel.
اوه اینجا نگاه کن میتونی توالت هم بشینی جا هست
Isfahan was definitely my favorite, which I had been to before, and this is the place that I remember the most and the best, I think. It just has very iconic pieces to it that's unique, and it's one of the larger main cities in Iran.
هرچی آب نیست.
We tried all of the amazing food. There's so much good food in Iran, you can't believe it. I love that my parents have an Aura ring and we all tracked our sleep.
Go back to the readiness.
Because when you're traveling, your sleep just up and down roller coaster.
Garmin watch says we're detraining. It's kind of sad to see that. It's always disappointing.
After Isfahan, we were off to Khorramabad. And we had the nicest bus driver who was taking us through all these cities and essentially hanging out with us every single day, all day long.
Alright, this is our next hotel. We got 3 slippers for 3 people. Trash can, we got slippers for the shower, because it's... Oh my. This is our shower. These are the 3 beds. We got a brand new TV with the tape still on. And a view of the city.
We got to see beautiful castles. As we travel to the next city. Endless historic beauties. Then our last city was Hamedan, where they have these like caves, and I think I'd been there 20 years ago.
Nice. Life jacket.
So I was very young, but I barely remember it slightly, and I was just asking my parents like how we acted, what we were like, and I think we just complained and cried a lot.
Alright, we're entering the Azadi Cave. World's largest water cave. 16 degrees Celsius, what's Fahrenheit?
But the wait was extremely long for these caves. I guess it's a very popular tourist destination.
All these chairs for waiting.
It's like Disneyland, except this is not man-made.
هیچی نمیشه بشین
Oh, افتاد.
This is the deepest part, 14 meters.
Alright, so ticket price for a local is 185,000 toman or 500,000 toman if you're a foreigner. That's $3 US and 9 US dollars if you're a foreigner. All right, this is the traditional Persian ice cream. My absolute favorite. Sometimes there's pistachios in it, and you just buy it in stacks. I have this kind too, but not my jam. That's my jam. You gotta get it with the bread.
Wafer.
That's you, Khadi.
And finally, we came back to the capital, Tehran, and we spent most of our time there. Luckily, one of my cousins took extremely good care of us, and she would show us around everywhere.
Okay, چند تا بود؟ برای چی برای من پول دادین؟ ای وای. Okay, I'm trying my very first Iranian Twix bar. I don't know.
One thing that was not common, just like in Europe, I guess cold brew. I think it's just productivity thing. You know, Americans are just more productive, more cold brew. But I was able to find some.
This is a cold brew. It's like bubbly. It's weird. It tastes weird. Carbonated.
There's bubbles on the top.
And I even saw my future home, which was, I think this house was like $10 million.
اومدیم بالای بالا. Oh my god. Iranian Penthouse. بخریم یکی. Oh my god. اینجا چیه؟ اوه چقدر بزرگه. توالت فرنگی هم دارن؟ داره. ایرانی توالت هم دارن یا؟ این ساختمان ایرانی اصلا ندارن. اوه.
It was so gorgeous. There was a sauna, there was a pool, tennis court, ping pong, all the things you could imagine.
دیگه بیایم اینجا زندگی کنیم.
Dude, imagine buying a $10 million apartment in Tehran, being able to go back there.
$500,000 ارزون نیست.
We got hamburgers, because, you know, I'm an American and I love burgers. And even beer. It's non-alcoholic beer. Alcohol is not allowed there, but they do have non-alcoholic beer.
Cheers.
And it was so interesting to see kind of these coffee shops, these hamburger restaurants that were very, I would say, kind of Americanized, Europeanized. It felt very modern. When I first went a long time ago, you would sit on the floor all the time, and that was mostly how it was. And now it was very American and Europeanized. We went to some fancy restaurant at Chitgar Lake, I think it's called, which is one of the more modern areas, and they had urinals. It's weird to think that I was excited to see a urinal, and I'm sorry I filmed it. I just had to, you know, show you that there was actually urinals. One of them had ice in it. I was like, wow. I think I saw 2 urinals my entire time I was there. We were there for almost a month.
Wow. Typically you get one of these or one of these if you're lucky.
And in the morning we went and got something called Kaleh Pacheh, which is the head of a lamb.
I saw it. The brain, the nose, and
So we're about to eat sheep brain. This is sheep brain.
coming from the boiling of the head for long hours, like maybe the entire night.
Ooh.
Oh
my god, right?
It was so good. Like you eat the meat part, but like of the eyes, the jaw muscles, like everything.
Okay, we got brain, eye, cheek, tongue. This is eyeball.
I've never tried that.
Oh.
That's definitely one of my favorite dishes now. And I do want to find some in New York or LA that I can go to.
Merci.
And one of our last few days there, we went to a traditional Iranian restaurant with all my cousins. They had live music, authentic Iranian food. It was so good. And it was sad. You know, it's crazy to think that I have uncles, I have aunts that I barely know, I barely have like a deep emotional connection with, but they're like my bloodline. I got to spend almost a month with them. We got to have laughs, we got to eat food. I don't know when I'll go back. Like maybe it's another 10 years.
Our last moments in Iran, we're officially leaving. Saying goodbye to this home. And the floor that we slept on.
I don't know if I'd be able to go on my own. I don't know if I felt that comfortable or confident.
All right, we're at the airport.
I think now I kind of do, and I might try to. This is one of the most unique travel experiences I've had in my entire life. I wanted to document it just to show you and just to kind of like watch myself later on, because it's crazy that I went there and I did this. Most people can't go, most people don't want to go, and there's still so much beauty and fun things and nice people. Turn notifications if you want to see future videos. I test strategies and tools for high-performing individuals, and this was a little video kind of off the rails. Since you enjoyed this video, go watch all my I Traveled with my Apple Watch series. And note that I'm moving a lot of my vlogs to my second channel, Shervin Shares 2, so go subscribe and turn on your notifications there if you want to see more casual, relaxed videos kind of like this. Follow me on all the socials, Strava, Instagram, X, @Shervin Shares. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.